At Decospan, we're rooted in innovation. And today we're going to dive into the topic from raw to radiant, making the difference with innovations. I have an expert panel here at my table, and I can't wait to dive deeper into the topic. Stay tuned.
Rooted in connection. Rooted in design. Rooted in nature. Rooted in craftsmanship. Rooted in innovation. Join us and explore the spirit of wood. Welcome to Rooted In, a Decospan podcast.
And we're back, and today I have with me at my table Diego Epifanio, export sales director at Tabu. And Tabu is a company specialized in dyeing wood in veneer in particular, with a focus on the high-end design market. You're based in Italy, but you're active globally. Am I leaving anything out, Diego?
No, absolutely not. Good morning or good afternoon, everybody. Actually, thank you for the introduction, Marike. And it's a pleasure for me to be here to represent my company, Tabu. Yes, as Marike just said, we are the expert enterprise and the expert company in wood veneer and especially in wood-dyed veneer business, actually. For us, is the most important point, the dyeing operation of the wood.
Indeed. We're going to dive into that deeper in a little bit later. With us today, we have Tim Hennin as well.
Hello.
Product and Marketing Director at Decospan. And Decospan I won't introduce. And I have with me Jonas Feys, who is Head of R&D at Decospan. And I myself am Marieke de Smet. I'm the Product Manager at the Decospan. First of all, Tabu and Decospan have a partnership together. Tim, you want to dive into a bit deeper what that entails for us?
Yeah, I think it dives already immediately in the core of a very important ingredient of innovation. I think partnerships are crucial in innovating, certainly in our industry. And I think we work already together for decades, even before my time.
Yes. It's a collaboration that has started a few years back, actually. And the great success that we got is the fact that we were capable to merge capability, competencies, a common philosophy in the wood industry and in the veneer industry, which is very important and not so common.
Yeah, and what we feel I like Tabu a lot because they really focus on putting their brand in. Because every architect you visit, or I visited, they have the 555 collection on it, and you also feel that we are putting collections into the market. So we really have the same way of looking at helping architects, helping the market, introducing brands, and making a fantastic product.
I could say that Tabu, in this sense, has changed the approach selling veneer into the market worldwide, globally. For us, selling veneer means talking about wood, talking about veneers, talking about nature, and especially unicity of the product that we have in our offer, in our portfolio. Talking about our catalog, the biggest worldwide collection, which consists of more than 600 different options of product, and very happy to put this kind of a broad offer at the disposal to architects, to design community, and to companies. Decospan, actually, for example, using our technology and our advantages, especially.
And diving on that one as a first question here, because Diego, veneer is a traditional product in essence, but Tabu brings a lot of innovation into the table. Can you expand a bit on how you look at veneer and how innovation is intertwined with that?
Actually, for us, veneers, the natural product actually, and the innovation consists of the fact that we enlarge the possibility of the usage of veneer in multiple sectors. We go from hospitality to industrial operation usage till yacht industry and the airplane industry, such as automotive. For us, innovation means also this kind of combination between color techniques and wood natural characteristics. The fact that we can bring different solutions. As we said, actually in a sense of a broad variety, innovation to the architect, that they can select from white to black color, going over a lot of different wood species. Innovation in terms of color consistency, color repeatability, which makes the project much more secure from the beginning to the end. Tabu. Using Tabu means using a standardized product within a natural characteristic product, as the veneer is. These are for us the crucial and the most important point that we try to put and to highlight talking about veneer and selling our product.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very interesting point, because taking away uncertainty in the market with a difficult natural product is key in scaling and getting into the market and managing expectations as well. So I think that's something you did very well.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and also because we have to consider the fact that there is coming more and more, unfortunately, a lack of competencies, a lack of capability in using veneer and in using natural product. The concept of Tabu, that by the way came from the textile industry, because we transform a concept of coloring textile, cotton and silk into wood, actually, and in the same way textile is colored, we have applied into the wood, and doing that together with the expertise of handling wood that we can find in Decospan is a perfect combination that brings really solution and, as we said, warranty for a project.
That's already a very interesting element of innovation you touch upon, looking at different industries to bring in innovation in an otherwise, in an industry that otherwise doesn't really bring a lot of natural innovation with it.
It's true, very much, yes. A deeper analysis that we have done in the market over our history, actually, because the foundation of the company has been in 1927, and there was this intuition of creating solution using wood veneers.
Yeah. And Jonas, you are focused on innovation on a daily basis in your job. What would you say is the biggest challenge that you're facing with innovating in the wood industry?
I think it's something that you already mentioned, Marika. It's a market, a customer base which is very traditional, and also like Diego was mentioning, customers who don't really understand anymore the real natural product. So it's helping our customers. It's making wood more reliable, more consistent, and take away that variety and add something extra to that customer. That's for me really understanding what the customer wants, how we can help that customer for a specific product in a specific market.
Yeah, but that can be quite a challenge, I can presume.
Can be quite a challenge, and it's easy to make something nice one time, but the consistency on a daily basis, together with operations, together with production, to keep a certain quality and to really have something new on a daily basis is challenging.
So is that then the hardest part of it, the fact that to bring something consistent in a product that's always unique?
Yes, for me, yes. It's really finding that consistency, finding the level of knowledge also for our operators. Not everybody has a university degree or whatever, and it's really translating everything to the work floor to our customers.
I also think that it is mainly on the product perspective, but the big challenge will also be on what will happen with our customers. How do they buy? What's happening with traceability, for example? How do we help them further in the process with alternative products? Because we are a small part of an interior project, so how can we be more in the heads of the consumers and know what they really need besides the product as well? Yeah, so we're trying, because the industry is rather traditional. So how is digital playing a role? How will they choose veneer? Will they do it eventually on the screen or not, or in other tools? So that's something that's, for me, the biggest challenge is to look further than 3, 4, 5 years in innovation beyond the product. And that's something we're also investigating in terms of how can we be more closer to the markets and help with the customers to predict what will happen and how we need to adapt as well.
To capture something that even our customer doesn't know that he wants.
Exactly.
And to find that hidden need at a customer. Why do you want a product? What do you need? What do you expect? Yeah. And to ask those questions. This is very important.
Yeah, I think it's also in respect to this is a matter of education to the market, in respect to clients, in respect to designers, and to create really awareness about the product, about the possibilities, and to have a cautious choice in respect to different type of targeting, different type of projects, and the final destinations.
It's also like with the latest Nux collection. It's also showing the customer what is happening when you varnish something. What is the influence of sunlight on your products? So it's also educating, explaining our product better to that customer.
Yeah. And I think finishing will be crucial in the coming years because I think the knowledge is also disappearing, the craftsmanship, etc. So how can we scale and have the same levels of finishing that high-end finishers are, for example, doing? And another challenge I think is interesting. We always tend to focus on the performance of the product, say the scratch resistant, etc. But in fact, for us, it's also very, very important to stay as close as possible to the wood, so that you don't lose the feeling and the emotion it gives. So that's a really tough balance that we also really try to keep.
Exactly, and talking about balance or talking about challenges, those are specifically the fact of having an affordable product, something that can be used, matching design intent, but also being in compliance with the performances and expectations. This comes starting from the wood, respect to the usage of the wood and the way the wood is jointed, is pressed, and especially how the wood then is lacquered, is varnished. We cannot speak dividing all these steps and all these topics. We have to merge the conversation and the analysis, including all these components and all these aspects.
Indeed. I'm going to add one additional complexity on the table because I thought we didn't touch upon enough complexities that we are facing. Sustainability. I think what is the role that sustainability is playing in how we look at innovation? Because can innovation be the match that lights the sustainability fire? I might have put it a bit in a special wording, but Tim, how do you look at that? Because we hear sustainability all around us, but in the end, is the customer willing to pay for that?
Yeah.
And then how can innovation help in that regard?
In most cases, I think legislation is a thing that really helps to push kinds of in terms of sustainability. But I believe what we try to do at Decospan is to be prepared. So we're also testing with ecological glues, for example, or new boards. But like you say, the market is not ready. And then the question is from how much are you in front of, how much do you want to push the products in a market that's not really waiting on it? So that's also something we need to test. So we have some markets, for example, in the Netherlands, they are really upfront in thinking in a sustainable way. So we try to find, again, partners to work with. And I think we need a proof of concept of a certain product, looking, is there a market? What is the willingness to pay? Like you're mentioning. But there, for me, I think there's a lot of awareness already. There's a lot of people feeling that we really need to start building on everything around sustainability. But again, the market is really slower than what we can expect. So one, I think legislation will give an extra push in the coming years for sure. And also we try to be prepared and help that little push in the market. But that's not that easy.
It's not that easy. Customers want something sustainable, don't really understand it, what it means in the product construction, what it means for putting a price tag on it. And also, will you pay extra for something that is difficult to see, to identify? That's really something difficult, and also not to lose ourselves in data. As scientists, we want to prove ourselves. Also on sustainability with data, we want to measure, we want to explain by numbers. But wood is a product that you need to feel in your stomach.
Yeah. And on the other hand, also sustainability is like a big word, but it's for everybody something else. For some, it's about, do you produce with the logical resources? The other one will say, how is board made that you use, for example. For another one, it's about the logistics. So it's also something that we need to demystify on where are people looking at. And like life cycle assessments, which we have, really help to make it insightful. But then you need to look at which buttons will we turn and which will be the impact as well in the market.
Yeah, on veneer perspective, sustainability means a lot, but in some cases means not that much. We have to feel the meaning of this word. And for us, on a veneer perspective, be sustainable means making choices or making selection that are respecting the wood.
Yes.
because in some cases the expectations are beyond the possibility that the nature can give to us. And to me, or in the Tabu philosophy concept, be sustainable means enlarging the percentage of a log that I can use. The moment I can propose everything that I can get from the nature, the coloring operation, the dyeing operation, where we are expert on, helps us on that, because no matter which color is from the beginning, we can manage, we can handle that. So we can propose any color in respect to any solution, starting from different bases. Then, of course, sustainability means for us carbon footprint analysis, knowing also the CO2 emission per each product produced, each product sold. And Tabu is really ahead on this concept, on this process, because we are the first company that has measured really the impact, the CO2 impact on all the product in our range. Another aspect is the sourcing. Try to respect the sourcing and try to be really with a clear planning in respect to procurement, to supply chain, to select right partners. I have no influence in respect to boards, such as gluing on the boards or some steps of the usage, because we are a little bit before this. But on our side, we try to control in relation to the nature, to the field, to the growing area, to the growing field of the wood from where we take our product.
And like you say also, and then also like we collaborate together, is selecting the right products from Tabu for the right product of Decospan. Which veneers do you put in front of the panel? Which veneers do you put on the back side of the panel? Can we maximize the tree there? It's a very nice collaboration, discussion sometimes, which veneers that we use together.
And you feel the market is really going to higher qualities all the time, and that's also something we need to manage, that we can have the maximum yield from a tree, so that nothing goes to waste.
It's very funny. I just before had a conversation on wood mix and making use of, and then they were referring to innovation. I was like, okay, this is a perfect twist to my next podcast. And now we're referring back to the previous. This is like beautiful harmony. Thank you so much.
Call them in.
I had to pay them extra just to be transparent to everybody listening. No, just kidding. Maybe Diego, what drives the innovation part at Tabu? What is inspiring all the processes that you're doing?
Actually, we take the inspiration reading the market, actually reading our design community that we speak with. Innovation and sustainability are touching points, elements. We try to innovate products, we try to create a new solution for the market, going more and more towards, let's say, circular economy concept as well. And for us, the driver is, yes, we create something new, maybe with less impact. We create something new starting from scrap, from something that before it was supposed to be wastage, now is not, because the world has changed, the market has changed, the market complexity imposes us to go towards different solution. And the best driver is a kind of, let's say, sustainable choice of a product that is also payable from the market and recognized from the market as innovation and as innovative solution. It is a little bit our point. We do great effort inside to have this kind of replies more and more to the market every day, and to have a story behind the product.
Yeah. And do you feel like that the designers always know already what they want, or do you have to bring new things to the table for them to be inspired and say, oh, I want that?
Yes, it's always important to give designer a choice. It's always important to propose a lot more that what is this supposed to be selected at the end.
You already have a nice portfolio.
Yes, but there is always something missing. There is among more than 600 almost different options, there is always something missing, but it is our job, it is our daily activity really to try to meet more and more and to be as close as possible to any personal request and to any personal attitude. Everybody's different, such as the requests are always different, but we are really here to be different in the market as well, to interpretate everybody's request. So,
and then Jonas, maybe what drives innovation at Decospan or in your team? What is the trigger for you to look at new things?
For us, it is, I think, based on 3 parts. We have our customer. We have a lot of customer requests coming in, ideas, things that our customers want. We have operational challenges or fine-tunings, incremental innovation. And we also have legislation. Legislation is also a big part. Chemicals that cannot be used anymore, changing formulas, changing raw materials, availability, and so on. So we have, let's say, multiple angles that we need to react on.
A lot of elements to keep an eye on.
It keeps it interesting.
That's for sure. And then, where is the inspiration coming from? Because I thought, Diego, you were mentioning in the beginning that you had the technology from the textile industry.
yes.
Is that something you're experiencing as well, Jonas, that you get inspiration from other industries on how to innovate?
Well, at Decospan, I think already many years, it's really looking to other industries, technologies, worldwide also. I think the strength in the past to innovate with Shinoki is let's say, bringing a finished panel in the market. Our flexes is something that is really a game changer. So it's really picking up the small things that are happening. My background also is looking to other materials, like how is the ceramics doing? What are the trends there? Maybe possible technologies that we do not know of. But really trends and then macro changes is something that we need to look at more and more. Like Tim already said, finishing becomes more and more important. Added value products where we can differentiate, where we can bring functionality to our customer is something really to look at.
We touched upon finishing already a few times. It's a perfect intro for my next question, because very often we hear about the challenging in finishing a product. On the one hand side, because it's a labor-intensive product or process, which quite often costs a lot of money. On the other hand side, because the knowledge in the sector is disappearing quite often. How can innovation, or how can you as a Tabu help in that process, or how do you try to help your customers in that process?
Is again a kind of, let's say, synergy aspect, working among companies together. The networking and the competencies together, they can bring a solution and innovative elements, innovative solution as well. For us, we are having open table experiences or open table talks with a lot of companies. They can really cooperate with us in order to bring performances linked to finishing. Different cases had in America, in Europe, in Asia, worldwide, in order to get a product that can really support us and can really resist to the different conditions. Also because building in America is not the same thing that doing that in Europe, such as in Asia. Conditions are very, very different. And so we have to pay really attention to this. Tabu works on that direction since quite a lot, actually. Being ahead also in terms of connection, varnishes, dyed stuff that we use, and a specific characteristic of each wood based.
Jonas, you want to add up on that?
It's indeed, that's how Diego and myself met. It's how do you protect your wood? How do you protect a dyed veneer? Tabu is expert in their products. We have our expertise. We come with certain questions to you. How do you do this? How do you best protect your product? Because of course, we both want to deliver a nice product to our customer that can stand for years. And that's really, finishing makes a veneer nicer. It protects it, it gives something extra, it preserves naturalness, but it makes it even nicer for the end customer. And that's really, I think, what's the strength in that difficult process.
And Tim, how do you translate all that knowledge then towards the customer on how do they feel we help them in with that regards?
Honestly, I think towards our customers, we try to keep everything away from that. That's too complex for them. Because just looked at the strategy that we have with the brands, what we really try is to make it simple for them. If you look to Shinoki and you talk with a lot of customers, they say, I like the color. I don't know why. You don't start about the wood, how it's sliced, etc. Maybe in the second phase, but in the beginning, it's really helping them towards their customer. It's simple. I have some nice colors. What do you like? And you help them in the process. So I believe all the technical stuff it's different for the industry customers, for example. They help with expertise, but towards really getting your products into the market, you might make it simple, and that's really crucial in everything we do in innovation. We always think, can we explain it in a simple way? Is it relevant for them? So we also have the tendency, all industries, to show how complex it is, and that's something you need to stay away from.
Nice. I think the same in a way. We dig every day into this kind of complexity in order to give to the final client a decorative product indeed.
Voilà.
The moment we present a decorative product, we have also the point more ahead, the fact of being a natural product.
Yep.
So
selling the emotion.
Exactly. Emotion also, but in respect to, again, as I said before, to a certitude at the end of the product that is nice in terms of look, very nice in terms of design, well protected in terms of varnishing, and well jointed and well combined in respect to structure consistency as well, because we talk about color, structure, and then at the end is a decorative surface.
Yeah.
Maybe to finalize our innovation discussion, I have a final question, and I'm going to ask it to every one of you. But let's think the sky is the limit. Well, sky is the limit. What type of innovation do you want to bring into veneer if all the complexities we've discussed currently are not of the issue? What do you want to bring to the table? Diego, you want to go first?
Wow, it's a difficult question.
I'm spraying it on you.
No, it's good. It's good. Let's try to make the wood more and more available as a decorative surface, and making the wood, let's say, applicable more and more for different usage is for us the next challenge to come, and something where we would like to work intensively, not considering any longer or anymore actually the wood as a limited product, but making the wood in terms of usability as much in larger sense as possible. This is, I think, the challenge, such as the innovation that we have to work with.
Jonas?
For me, it's a little bit the holy grail for Decospan. It's a pre-finished collection like Shinoki with a fireproof finish. And
wood that doesn't burn.
Wood that doesn't burn. Yeah. And that's really, let's say, something that I'm very eager to discover.
Tim?
I have so much going through my head now, but what I like also as a trend is like the man-made wood, where we really use fast-growing wood, for example, to have some nice design and collection, in which you can, for example, start more and more having farms instead of forest, for example, and that we can then think how can you make, like we have in the meat industry as well. They have like, how it's called, like the meat that they lab-grown meat, for example. What will happen in the industry? I already read a startup who was busy with making something like that in the wood industry. So how will that evolve? I'm very intrigued to know what this will do with our business as well. But that's maybe for 5 or 10 years, I don't know. But
lab-grown trees?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, in a big lab
to grow the tree as we prefer, as we want.
Yeah, for example, that's also
trees.
a good point, because the place in the forest of your tree decides on how it looks like at the end. So maybe that's also something we could optimize, and that's
that
already
we could
having some
influence
species.
in a sense. Yes.
Or bring wood species that need 100 years to grow, take them back to 50 years or 20 years,
or
even.
Shorten the
species.
time and to try to pilot a little bit the characteristic. That will be also an important aspect for us.
Yeah. You hear it, listeners. A lot of innovation still to come. So I would say stay tuned. Follow all our companies to see what we keep on doing on the innovation aspect. If you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to us on our social media or via our website. The links are available in our show notes. I want to thank my guests for all their valuable inputs they had in our discussion. So thank you very much and stay tuned for our other podcasts.
Thank you, Marike.
Thank you. Great pleasure. Thank you.